In the vast waters of the South China Sea, silence ruled the night. But that silence shattered when a billion-dollar U.S. Navy destroyer vanished from radar. Within seconds, the ocean lit up in flames. Emergency alarms screamed through the steel corridors. The Pentagon scrambled to respond. No one saw it coming. What really happened that night? How did a single moment push two superpowers to the edge of war? The USS Liberty-X was one of America's most advanced Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, loaded with radar systems, missile defense, and high-tech surveillance equipment. On paper, it was untouchable. On this night, it was on a routine patrol near the Spratly Islands, a region claimed by both the United States and China. For Washington, it was a freedom of navigation mission. But for Beijing, it was a direct violation of their sovereignty. For weeks, tensions had been building. Chinese warships shadowed American vessels. Fighter jets screamed overhead in warning passes. Sonar pings echoed deep beneath the water. It was a dangerous game. One mistake could ignite a global conflict. On the radar deck, a young officer noticed something strange. A fast-moving blip appeared under the waves, moving erratically. Could be a sub, he muttered. Before he could verify, the signal disappeared. He logged it as possible contact. Hours later, that contact would change everything. At 2:17 a.m., the first explosion tore through the ship. A thunderous blast shook the entire hull. The Liberty-X lurched violently as crew members hit the deck. "We've been hit. We've been hit," the radio operator shouted. Panic spread. The lights flickered. Water began to flood the lower compartments. Damage control rushed in, sealing off bulkheads, fighting to keep the destroyer afloat. But before they could stabilize the situation, a second explosion erupted, this time from above. A missile, likely fired from miles away, struck the deck. Flames consumed the radar tower. The once mighty warship was crippled. Across the Pacific, in Washington, D.C., the Pentagon went into lockdown. Satellite feeds showed smoke rising from the South China Sea. The words, "loss of contact, Liberty-X," flashed across every screen. The National Security Advisor was awakened immediately. Was this an accident, or an act of war? He demanded. No one had an answer. Within hours, Chinese state media released a statement. A U.S. warship entered Chinese waters and suffered an unfortunate incident. But video footage leaked online told another story, a Chinese drone capturing the strike from the sky. The world was stunned. American news networks broke the story instantly. U.S. destroyer attacked in South China Sea. Social media exploded with panic and anger. The U.S. Navy ordered all ships in the region to defensive positions. Fighter jets were scrambled from nearby carriers. The world held its breath. In Beijing, officials maintained silence. But satellite intelligence revealed something chilling. A Chinese submarine fleet had been operating in the area hours before the attack. Intercepted radio traffic suggested this was no accident. The attack had been planned. As the Liberty-X sank beneath the waves, rescue helicopters scoured the area. Out of 320 crew members, only 247 were recovered alive. The rest, missing, presumed lost. The sea had swallowed $1 billion of U.S. technology and dozens of American lives. At the United Nations, chaos unfolded. American diplomats accused China of aggression. China fired back, calling the U.S. the true aggressor. The Security Council descended into shouting and blame. Global markets trembled. Oil prices spiked overnight. The South China Sea, once a flashpoint of tension, had become the center of a global crisis. Behind closed doors, the Pentagon debated retaliation. Military advisors presented strike options, cyber attacks, naval blockades, precision missile responses. The president faced the hardest decision of his career: strike back and risk World War III, or hold the line and lose credibility. Meanwhile, Chinese social media celebrated what they called a defensive victory. But even within China's military, there was fear. They knew the U.S. would not stay silent for long. Days later, something unexpected happened. A mysterious explosion rocked a Chinese naval base in Hainan. No country claimed responsibility, but satellite images showed massive damage, several submarines destroyed. Analysts believed it was a covert U.S. retaliation, a message sent without words. For weeks, both sides moved warships, submarines, and aircraft into battle formations. The world watched as the Pacific braced for war. But then, silence again. Back-channel talks began between Washington and Beijing. Neither side wanted an open war, not yet. Months passed. The official investigation remained classified. The Pentagon never confirmed who fired the first shot. China denied everything. But in the shadows, both militaries prepared for the next time, because everyone knew this wasn't the end. In the end, the wreckage of the Liberty-X became a silent monument beneath the sea, a reminder that a single spark can bring the world to the edge of destruction. The ocean keeps its secrets, but the question remains, who really pulled the trigger that night?